All right, now we're ready.
Yeah, we can settle it after the game to see if we can help you get it to work.
Nah, we're good.
Probably a good
Let's
thing
go.
you didn't hear me because there was a string of profanities.
No, that's welcome.
That would have been the best way to actually hear you. So
I
just,
have no
randomly
idea
cut
how
in.
long. Like, I was just going on about all sorts of things, and then people would be talking like, oh, I guess it wasn't important.
Oh,
Oh,
The whole damn time. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
let's fucking kill this thing.
You have all come to the city of Shadefall, whether you have lived here for some time, or you have gotten off at the river, or you have made your way across the countryside. You have all found yourself in Shadefall. Most of the city is normal as far as construction, but there are certain areas of the city, particularly to the east of the city, that have fallen into some disrepair. Those who have lived here know that it's because of the pox that people who were living there and have passed, and just no one's come along to take their place or use those houses. But it's aside from that, the city is doing okay. With the pox having come through 50 years ago, the Taurian Empire, which used to rule this area, kind of regressed and returned back to the valley that they originally came out of, thinking that would help them avoid the problem of the pox. However, many of the people who were here and returned, being of noble birth or of high influence, ended up taking the pox with them and kind of destroyed the Taurian Empire from within. There are still pieces of it around, but for the most part, it's not the size or strength that it was. And in this case, the Nyland territories have returned to the way they were before the Taurian Empire, being small enclaves and clans, trying to make it on their own. As far as the city goes, it's not as influenced or affluent as it used to be. There was a lot of people from the Taurian Empire who had influence and money, and they were residing here. When they left, it kind of took the financial backing of the city away. So people are kind of doing what they can. I mean, it's not to say that they're poor and destitute. There's a lot of fishing available, so they still have means of taking care of themselves and selling off the extra catch. There's some farmers have built their farms up right outside the city, but there's also a number of farms that are rebuilding themselves, and these farms are kind of like communes outside of the city, like a half a day's ride, and they provide food to the city as well in the form of excess fields. So you've all been in the city for a little bit of time, just checking into things that you've wanted to do if you're not a native, or being a native, you've been living here, and you've kind of gotten acclimated to a bar or a tavern that's called the Willock's End, run by the Willock family. It's a nice, cozy tavern, which has become known for having a mini library of its own, in that you can peruse the books that are on the shelf along the one side of the tavern main room and read whatever you'd like that's in the library. You just cannot remove any book from the tavern. Some have tried, and what you have seen or heard is that as soon as they get near the door, a mouth appears on the door itself and just begins to yell and scream and holler at them for daring to take a book out of the tavern. In the tavern, you've met a couple of people. One of them is kind of a well-known person amongst the city itself. He's known to be at the tavern quite often. His name is Ziggy the Scrivener. He is a gnome who purports to be a mage of some power, No one's really sure. A lot of people just think he's kind of a blowhard. But what they do know is that he spends a lot of his time when he's in the tavern. He spends a lot of his time copying the books that are on the library, and in that way, he has been able to remove them from the tavern because he's taking his own copy, not a copy of the original. He has a white beard. He's kind of bald. He smokes a multi-bowled tobacco pipe, which has three bulbs, and they're all lined up, so he kind of mixes his tobacco in the different bulbs to get a different flavor every time. And he tends to wear like fine silk clothing. Another person you have seen in the tavern is Baron Barabbas, the Barabbas family. He is a noble dwarf. He's been in this region for centuries, and he occupies one of the seats on the ruling council. There are three houses that rule over the city, and he himself has one of those seats. So he kind of tends to, unlike many dwarves, or maybe like many dwarves, he kind of comes across as very pushy and this is the way it's done, and it's to be done his way. He's kind of young for a dwarf. He's about 220 years old, and he has long, fiery red hair and a beard, and he styles his mustache into long points at the ends, and wears his family colors, which are blue and yellow. Another person you have met in the tavern from time to time is a woman who goes by the name of Baroness Hallwart, and she is a tiefling and also one of the noble families, and she has the second seat on the council.
What was her name?
Baroness Hallwart, Hallwurt. And while her family is predominantly human, she does have she does have some tiefling blood in her, based on the tail and the traditional tail, and she does have horns on her forehead. So somewhere in her family, there's definitely been a consort with a devil of some sort. You've also met a woman named Aluna Greth, and she's a half orc who happens to be captain of the guard. She's been the guard of the town guard or captain of the town guard for the city for the last couple decades. She's very good at her job, but she doesn't have a very good personality. I mean, she comes across as very crass and crude, but everyone kind of takes it as like, oh, she's a half orc. That's her half orc blood showing. And they all think, all feel that she has a very big heart for for being captain of the guard. She does have a big heart towards other people. So,
Has she ever been bullied for her name?
she was. Are you talking about the captain of the guard?
Whoever's name ends in Wart.
Oh, the Baroness.
Likely not to her face.
Not exactly. Yeah, she's a member of a noble family. She's never been bullied to her face, but you can assume that she has been bullied behind her back. Like I said, she's got the deep reddish skin, the tail, two horns, and she unfortunately for her, the family colors are black and red, so those are the colors to wear, making her like the stereotypical tiefling. But like I said, most of her family is human, so she's kind of like the one out that just she got the genetic roulette and shows the devil that has been devil in her blood somewhere. So, but you can only given how the city people are, they're not. I mean, because of how the pox went down, most of the city was human beforehand, and then the pox brought all the non-humans into the city for protection. and in their hopes, in their eyes, they would also be able to get medical help. Unfortunately, that's a pretty good representation of her. The horns aren't so long, but other than that, that would be a good picture for her. Yeah, her horns are much shorter. Other than that, that's good. It's a good representation. But as I was saying, most it was predominantly human, and the non-humans, the elves, the dwarves, the halflings, lived outside the city, in their own villages and in their own way. When the pox came along, the dwarves tend to they didn't, instead of going to the city, they just went underground. The elves. I'm sorry.
Sorry. What's the year and month currently?
Haven't really. I mean, it's definitely springtime. Really haven't thought of a year yet. I'm still working on the timeline.
Okay.
But it's 50 years since the pox. I did put a timeline in the Google Drive. Is anyone ever able to access that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
have
access.
access if you click the link.
Okay, good. All right, so yeah, there is a timeline in there. I will be working on that as I can. But it's been like 50 years since the pox, so there's no threat to anyone at this time. And that also explains why some of the buildings are as run down and in bad shape as they are, having had no one really looking after them for the past 50 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. But as I was saying, it's kind of a human-centric city. When the pox drove everyone except for the dwarves into the city, there was a little, a little hardship going on there at first, but it acclimated very well because people started to realize that, the pox was the enemy, not each other. So they kind of did get along, but you can still imagine that a tiefling is not going to be, it's not going to be very well taken because of the connotations of its bloodline. So yeah, you can assume that she got bullied behind her back. So, one night, as I said, you're all sitting in various spots at the bar. How are you all kind of having others perceive you? I mean, like what I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to say is, when they look at you, what do they see? Do they see a farmer? Do they see a scholar?
Do we want to go down the list of who's in the order of names in the TeamSpeak chat, just to keep it organized?
Yeah, I know that with your character, you're a rogue. I mean, you're a walking suit of armor, basically. So it's kind of hard to disguise that as anything else.
Oh, don't worry, I've got a description here, but Aisling and Ari, you two are above me, so.
Yeah, Ari, why don't you go ahead?
Well, for Ari, you see somebody about 3'9", so sits pretty low on a table, giving most of the furniture for humans. Always seems to have found a book and is trying to read. He's wearing green robes and a pointy green hat that seemed to have been dyed green, because evidently they were yellow originally, so some of the yellow still shows through in spots. And he has a short staff that sits beside him and a very rusty dagger at his hip. That's what you see of Ari. He's pretty covered up. If you get a look at his hands, you can probably see where there appear to be has been some burns, but that's about all you can tell.
Okay. Aisling?
You're
Eris, your
muted.
mic is muted.
Yeah, her mic is muted.
Sorry, her name's Ashlyn, but it's
Ashlyn?
a Celtic
Okay.
name. Yeah, it's pronounced Ashlyn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ashlyn.
Let me find her description. She'll be in her, let's see, armor. I have a picture somewhere in like character creation with how she looks. No, I know. It's hard for me to like describe her properly. I forget what armor I have her wearing. Let me see.
Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at. If someone comes in off the street and sees Ashlyn, what do they see? Do they see a fighter? Do they see a farmer? What would be the first impression of her?
Alright, so she's gonna be in costume clothes and waiting to perform on like the stage since you're in a tavern. Let's see, her hair is long and pulled back a bit. It's like a dark, almost black brown with red highlights, and the edges are red.
Okay.
Her eyes are an interesting hazel, I believe. I can't really tell since hazel tends to change colors sometimes. Yes, hazel. Sometimes hazel looks more green, sometimes it looks more yellow or even brown. Oh. Let's see, what else? She's short, she's 2 feet and 11 inches. She does look a bit wrinkled due to her age. Her skin is almost reddish tan with scattered freckles around with whatever skin's showing. Not sure what to describe her costume to be. I guess typical female bard. Or, what's her name? The Witcher, Priscilla.
Okay.
If anyone knows what Priscilla looks like in The Witcher. See if I can find a picture. I'll put it in character creation. Like this kind of outfit. And if my voice mod is activated, this is what her voice sounds like. I will roll first to see her performance if you decide she should perform now or in a little bit.
We'll have her perform in a little bit.
Okay. Right. There is, I don't know if you can see like the token thing above my name on your roll 20s, but there is a picture on how she looks. When she's in armor, I mean.
Okay, yeah. Okay, is there anything else we need to know? Or we can decide from her?
Unless you like roll perceptions or insights.
It's okay, we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm just trying to get like a kind of quick overview so we can, so everyone knows what everyone else is seeing. Talk?
So, first things foremost, Talk is a bit of a presence in a room due to the fact he's 6'8" and weighs 310 pounds on a good day. The very first thing that you'll probably notice is he's a bit of a busybody. He's doing a lot of walking around, oftentimes volunteering to assist the bartender, since obviously he's not a fellow who needs a drink. He'll oftentimes, if he's not offering assistance to the bartender, barmaid, or other staff, you often find him either perhaps standing outside just looking around or perusing books in the library, sometimes offering his own little suggestions, since odds are he's spent a good bit of time reading in here. At least to kill time if he doesn't have anything else to do. If not that, he might just be simply sitting at a table in a corner just watching everyone, but not in the way of someone who's paranoid, per se, but more so just someone who's curious, just looking around, wondering about some of the interesting people that come in, wondering about their stories, various things along those lines. A couple other details you might notice about him is that while he's inside, he's not wearing that skull-like helmet that you see him wearing in the picture. That's more so clipped to his waist. Since obviously wearing some kind of weird robo-skull thing in the middle of a bar would be a bit frightening to drunk occupants. On top of that, he's very clean. He tries to keep himself very clean as an individual. So if you were to take a very close inspection, you notice he keeps himself in pretty good shape. Whatever cleaning regime he uses, which I don't know if they have like Rusties in Fantasy World, but you get where I'm going with it. The other noticeable detail you'd noticed about him, if you're paying particular attention to him, it's a pretty obvious thing, is that he has a little tiny silver bell that always has within close reach. Either he'll strand it up around his neck or just hold it in his hand. And if he's not doing anything and just sitting there, he'll usually have that within his hand, just absent-mindedly fiddling with it.
Okay. Hazio?
Aseo.
Seo.
Yeah, it's a Japanese name. So Aseo, he's not as big as the last guy, but he's 6'2", medium-sized, 220 pounds. His eyes are pupilless. They are like bluish gray. He is a Asimar. And his skin is very, very obviously pale green. And he's got tattoo markings going like across his chest and down his shoulders and his arms, stopping a little bit next to his wrist. Upper body, he's long diamond white hair that's also glowing just a tiny little bit. But as far as what he's wearing, it's essentially the monk attire with only one shoulder. The other side's bare. At the waist, it kind of goes into like what you would wear at a dojo, and then the bottom half, he's pretty much dressed for travel. It's got the knee-high leather boots, and just some normal dark pants to have movement if he needs to. And he's got two really big gloves on his hands that are blue, wrapped in black material, and he's got a boomerang tucked into his pocket.
Okay. All right. Sin, I'm not going to try and pronounce your character's name without hearing it first.
Well, the easiest way is just to say Julia, and that's perfectly fine.
Julia. Okay.
So Jewel, as she typically is referred to, is someone that is almost obnoxiously optimistic and positive, can never be found without a smile on their face. Typically talking to anyone around her, treats absolutely no one like a stranger. If she's not speaking to someone, she's typically writing something down, a story or a song, but again, always with positivity. In this instance, you'll probably find her over in a corner with a spark of inspiration, happily writing away and minding her own business.
Okay.
So she visually is 5'6", and her hair is half red, half black, split straight down the middle, thin with blue clothing and typically will be seen with a tan or viol instrument in her hands.
Okay. Star, how do you pronounce your character's name?
Kodica.
Kodica. Okay.
So with Kodica, she is about 5'3". What you guys would see is her sitting down at the same table as Haseo, looking into a cup of hot tea or whatever hot beverage this establishment actually sells. Every so often, when somebody enters into the inn, she would look up and out the door, but then look back down once she appeared to notice that she did not recognize whoever walked in. She would be sitting there with her legs crossed, just doing that. And as far as her looks, I posted it in the character creation. This is exactly what she looks like as you see her currently.
Okay. Boom.
All right. So Piros stands at about 5'9". He is clothed immediately in the robes of his faith. For reference, look at the rightmost picture that I've posted previously, but here's reference material.
Okay.
He's not overtly wearing any armor. He has a mace at his side, but he doesn't seem to want to use it. He seems immaculately clean, for whatever reason, as his robe is somewhat frayed in areas, as it's seen constant use, but still somehow immaculately maintained. A book sits on a number of chains attached to a belt of his, as does a censer, which, if he's not outright proselytizing to any of the tavern goers, is likely sitting in front of him on a table as he thumbs through the very same book. He has a coppery complexion, and as I recall, he has blue eyes, and this is likely one of the few times you'll catch him with his hood down and his black, lengthy, straight black hair exposed.
Hey.
I forgot to mute myself while I was typing.
All right. As you're all sitting at your different tables, Ziggy, the Scrivener, approaches Haseo and Jules' table. I'm sorry, Kodica's. And he looks at the two of you, kind of looks you both up and down, and says, "You adventuring type peoples? You know, the ones that always seem to get your hands dirty."
I look over to Kodica and kind of raise an eyebrow.
I'll look over at Ziggy and say, hesitantly, apparently, if the price is right.
Okay, yeah, so you are good. See, I was just perusing this book, and he kind of pulls. He had a book under one of his arms, holding it there. He puts it down in front of you too, and it's closed. You can see the cover on it, and the cover. Oops, where'd my notes go here? So the cover says "The Crypts of Shadefall: A Guide to Praetorian Burial Sites." He says, "I was just looking through this book here, and it's very."
Think we lost you.
I heard very. It's the last word I heard.
The internet, yeah.
You.
J-Hoff, come back to us.
Packet loss. Fun for the whole family.
Starting to
Okay,
hate. There we go.
Hi.
All right,
Hello?
you're back.
All right,
back.
I'm really starting to hate Discord. And I don't have voice mod turned on. Mine's is turned off.
It's Discord. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So he has a book. Where did we lose me?
You said
Uh,
very.
The crypts of Praetorian.
Okay. All right. So
What's it
yes,
called?
the book is entitled "The Crypts of Shadefall: A Guide to Praetorian Burial Sites." He says it's very interesting because it talks about the customs of when this was the Nyland territories on their own, and how they buried people there. Now, I'm really looking. I'm not looking for trouble here. I don't want you guys getting hurt. I just want you guys to go check out one of these crypts that I see here. I was reading, and I think I know where it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I know where it is. It sounds very familiar as being off in the east ward of the city. And from what I understand, might be some good books in there that I could definitely use. And I'll pay you some gold. I don't have a lot to offer, and I really don't expect you to get into a lot of trouble. It's just an old crypt that's been there for a long time. It hasn't been used or even found, to be honest. But if you could find this crypt and get whatever books out of it you could find and bring them back to me, I would be extremely gracious for this help.
I'm gonna look over at Ko and in Elvish. I'm gonna ask her, do you think this is worth the time away from your own journey?
I'll respond in Elvish. He says the crypts of Shadefall. It's likely still near here. We still have the room for a while.
That seems like we would possibly make more money from this versus the bag selling. It's not going too well.
I'll stop responding to him in Elvish and go back to Ziggy in Common. This seems like something that we may be able to help each other with.
Oh, good. I will pay you 5 gold for every book that you find and bring back to me. And if you find something of rarity, well, then we can talk more about how much that book.
How many books are there that you're hoping ideally to come back with?
I'm hoping for, good 10, 20 books.
Will you be providing bags for said books?
Oh, sure. I can give you some sacks. I have some sacks back at my shop.
Shall we meet you there later then for those?
Sure. Tomorrow morning sound good?
Sounds great. What's the name of your shop?
Ziggy Scrivener.
All right.
I just
what kind of shop is it?
He purports to be a mage of some power, but his shop is definitely a scribe's shop. As you've seen him on occasions of the past nights you've been here, you've always seen him at his table with books from the library shelves of the tavern itself, and he's copying them into brand new books. So he's been, he's basically transcribing what he finds in the bookshop, and he's kind of running out of material.
Gotcha. I'll quickly ask him. In your shop, do you happen to also sell materials that one of the magic variety would need, such as fleece?
I can see what I have. I don't have many people coming through here asking for items of that sort, but I can see what I have in the storeroom.
Okay. If you happen to have it, I would appreciate if on top of the 5 gold we throw in a roll of fleece.
Sure. I can see that as being worthwhile, yes. He takes a big puff on his pipe. As I said, has 3 different bowls on it, and you get the hint of 3 different tobaccos combining at once as he pulls a token on the pipe.
What 3 tobaccos do you have in that pipe? The mixture of the aroma gives off quite a unique scent.
Well, he's kind of obviously just like, wow, someone's actually taking interest in his pipe. I've got a halfling tallweed here in this one bowl, and then I've got gnomish pipeweed here in this second bowl, and I've got regular old tobacco just to kind of mellow the two out, because without a bonding agent, the two of them could be kind of extreme on the taste and the smell. So I've got a regular human, regular tobacco in this bowl here.
You find it hard to focus using all of those at once?
No, I find it very relaxing, to be honest.
It is quite unique. I have yet to see a pipe this way.
Oh, it's nothing. My family before me, they made pipes like this all the time. Yeah, and he takes another toke. Whoever's vaping over there, thank you.
Yep. A question from where we're sitting. Do we see the rest of or any of the other party in the room?
Yeah, you can see. You see over in one corner a small man kind of bundled up in cloaks and with a hood pulled over, and he's reading. He as well, like Ziggy is reading and copying from a book. And you see every once in a while you get a flash like hands. You see two different people. One obviously halfling or another shorter style body type, and a human. Oh, I'm sorry. You're human, right, Julia?
You're muted, son.
Half elf.
Half elf, yeah.
Okay, so you see two women who are wearing flashy entertainment clothes. Both of them have instruments, so you figure that they're definitely musicians of some sort. You see, at first you think that it's a man just wandering around in armor, and then you realize he's a gear forged, helping out around the bar, moving about.
Wow, that's probably the first one Haseo has seen. And is there someone walking around helping people, or do you have to go up to a bar to order?
Well, the gear forged is walking around checking on people. There is another younger woman moving about. As best as you can tell, she seems to be the daughter to the owner. The owner is Briar Willock. He's behind the bar. He's the one like managing everything and making sure everything's taken care of. But his daughter is working around, making sure that everyone's got their food and the drinks, and so is the gear forge.
I'm going to, if I can, wave over the gear forge as if I want to order something.
Ziggy is still here with us too, right?
Yeah,
he's standing between the two of you.
I'm pretty much like kind of like, this is your two conversations. I'm gonna just order something.
So you are waving over talk though?
Yes.
All right. So after a moment of kind of scanning the crowd, talk will see the hand being waved and head on over.
Okay.
How may I provide assistance?
Kind of I pause for a second, and like there's just a slight head tilt of interesting. But you hear, excuse me, would you have any green tea by any chance?
That is a popular choice tonight. I should place an order for you.
2, please.
Absolutely. One moment.
When he walks off,
I am gonna.
When he walks off, I'm gonna ask Ziggy another question. You haven't happened to have seen a elven woman a little bit taller than myself with long braided white hair, or a about 6 foot male elf with half of his head braided in a deep emerald green color, or even maybe a little bit shorter than that, male elf that has shorter white hair. Have you?
With hair that color, I'd be hard to miss. But no, I haven't seen anyone like that.
All right. Well, thank you. We won't take up any more of your time. We'll be sure to go and take a look at that. Where exactly did you say that the entrance to this place was?
We're in the East Ward. It's between Rose Street and Shade Street, next east of the old Riverview Road. I got a map back in the store. I can show you when you come in the morning. I'll show you exactly the area. I'm not 100% sure where exactly the crypt entrance is. It's but I got it kind of like narrowed down to a block. So it shouldn't take you too long to search through those houses. I'm pretty sure they're all abandoned at this point in time. Yeah, and ain't nobody lived in there out in the Eastward for a long time now. So you should be okay out there.
Okay. Well, then we shall see you tomorrow, Ziggy.
Thank you. He kind of walks back to his desk or his table where he was sitting. He's got like kind of a spring in his step now that he knows someone's gonna take him seriously and help him out in his little quest here.
Oh, that was
if I may.
convenient. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, do you think those drinks would be made fast enough so that when Talk comes back to deliver him to the table, he would pass by Ziggy?
Yeah. Yeah, Ziggy's already on his way back to his own table, but yeah, you would pass by him.
I'm assuming that they would have run into each other a couple of times while reading, so as he passes by, he just give a casual greeting of, Scribe Ziggy.
No, I don't think my voice changer is on, is it?
Sorry,
It is now.
as soon as you turned on the voice mod, I lost you.
Shit. Scribe Ziggy. Come to make copies of more books, I assume?
Well, you know me, Talk. I always want to make sure that this stuff passes on and people have access to it. You know, it's without these books, just things get lost. Let's just say that things get lost, and we need to make sure that future generations have access to the same information that we have now.
Talk just kind of gives a nod. He doesn't have too much time to continue conversation, so he gives a polite nod, says he understands, and continues on to drop off the green tea back at Hasio's and Kataka's table.
Okay.
How much do I owe you?
5 coppers.
All right. Is that for 2? Is that?
Yes.
All right.
From where Jules is sitting, would she have been able to overhear the conversation that happened with Hasio and Co?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
So then, at this point, Jules walks over to the table and says, I hear you guys may be going on a little bit of an adventure tomorrow. I was looking for something fun to occupy my time. 25 books sounds like a lot. Would you like some extra hands?
I can tell that Haseo will be quiet during these ventures. I will look over towards the half elf that has happened upon us. Look back towards Haseo.
I got
And then back
the
towards
tea
her.
mug.
I take the tea mug. Or my tea, my cup of tea. Anyway, and then as I take the cup, I will look back over at you, Jewel, and I'll say 25 books does seem like quite a bit. And he's only saying ideally if we were to happen upon more than that, it would be a great deal of help for more hands. Thank you.
Is Talk still here while this conversation's happening too?
Yeah, we can. You're collecting the money from Hoseo. So yes, you're still there.
I would be standing at this point then to get the money out.
Okay.
High capacity carrying is available.
This is incredible. Forgive me, I've never seen one. Fine. Sir? They.
It is fine.
I have yet to see one of myself as well, except in a mirror.
I chuckle.
Joel says, well, I would be fine having a larger party. I'm just excited to spend time with some new friends. Would you care to join us?
I'm sorry, who are you saying this to?
Jules, was that aimed at Doc?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It shall be my pleasure to assist.
This is a very convenient day for adventuring, isn't it?
It seems so.
How do you pronounce your character's name?
Who?
Zampiros.
Zampiros. Okay. All right. As you're sitting there reading over, I'm guessing you're reading over the book. Your book.
I'm essentially rereading religious scripture.
Right. Okay. You feel a touch, just a very light touch on your shoulder.
I close the book. Can I help you?
You turn and you see a tall elven woman. She's kind of wearing robes similar to yours in that they are definitely a religious robes, not a robe of comfort or influence or to show her own influence. They're definitely robes that give off some kind of like a divine feeling. She's standing there, kind of looking back and forth at Ziggy and at you, and she says, "I haven't seen you here. Are you new?"
Within the confines of the tavern or the town?
The town.
I've been here for a number of years.
Have you? You obviously look like a holy man. Am I correct in my assumptions?
You would be. How can this
Have
humble
you-
servant of she who makes the path assist you this day?
I've been receiving some dire feelings,
Have
and
you?
I believe that the Scrivener is involved. May I sit?
You may.
She sits down across from. She comes around to the table and sits down across from you. I don't know how to address this. I have my concerns, and I believe that the gnome is involved. Have you had any warnings from your goddess?
Not as of yet, no.
I just hate being so. I don't want to come across as rude and abrupt, but I am very concerned. I feel like the gnome, the Scrivener there, is searching for something that really best be left alone.
I see. Well, he seems to have gotten a group together to do something or other. Would you like me to inquire on your behalf?
Please. It's been, and as you get like a glance of light under her hood, you see she's definitely older for an elf. My days of searching and scrapping about are more than long gone. I just cannot get about as I used to, but I just have a feeling that he is looking for something that will cause cause problems if it's found.
Those are dire portents indeed. I shall inquire on your behalf.
Thank you.
May the bringer of change bring you excellent changes in your accoutrement. My character bows in her head, bows in her general direction, and then begins to walk towards the table.
Okay. You're the first one to see Zimberos approaching as you're still standing. You kind of get an idea, a feeling that someone's. You get an idea. Oh shit. All right, okay, good. I'm still on here. Haseo, you get an idea that someone's approaching, and you kind of, you can see that Talk is looking kind of over your shoulder at someone.
Oh, I will turn around.
You see what appears to be a holy man, or someone definitely taken in with religion approaching you.
Yeah. We'll welcome the approach and give kind of a respectful bow forward, as a monk would.
Okay.
While seated, your head is the table. Oh. I would walk towards the table, and since Haseo is obviously seeing me, I would get within a comfortable distance. Excuse me my intrusion, but may I have a conversation with a lot of you?
Of course. Have a seat.
I look
Good
towards
afternoon,
him.
Lady Kostica.
What?
May I sit?
No, please.
My character will pull up a chair slowly, and then sit down, and then lean across the table. I assume...
I'm going to, under my breath real quick, in Elvish, just go, Kostica.
Real quick.
Wait, was that what your name, not what your name was?
It's Kodica.
Ah! My leg.
Real quick, I'm going to... So, Talk, funnily enough, knows Elvish and just kind of hears this and just chimes in. Kostica?
What is Kostica?
Ah, excuse me, I misspoke. Kostica. Lady Kostica.
It's fine, it's fine. Please sit.
Thank you. My character sits down.
I'm walking to stand behind Kodica's shoulder. All bodyguard
Ignore him. He's here for
I've not
looks.
had conversations at length with you, sir. You have a name that I could address you by?
Haseo.
My character nods. Zampiros.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and just very non-noble turn around since he's behind me and be like, Haseo, you've been letting me call you Hakito and Hakiko for 6 months and it's Haseo?
It's not in my contract to correct you later.
I'll face forward to them again.
Straight face, no smile or anything.
What was that, Talk?
He was just letting out a bit of a slow laugh at that moment. just staring at him, just...
Why?
Jewel is completely oblivious to the rudeness, and promptly and enthusiastically sticks out her hand and says, "Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Jewel."
Likewise. My character reciprocates. Takes her hand. Shakes after an awkward pause.
Just glaring you down.
What is it that we can assist you with?
A lady has approached me and made note of your recent acquaintance. Is it true that the gnome has come by and inquired your services for something or other?
Indeed, a gnome did approach us, if that is the recent acquaintance you speak of, though if you look around, there are quite a few recent acquaintances.
I see.
In
Cool.
case you
Allow me
are
to be
unaware,
more
Yes, this
acquaintance
specific.
place
is
is
defined
great
as
for
someone
making
you've
friends.
recently met.
I'm sorry, what did Chunk say?
In case you are unaware, acquaintance is defined as someone you have recently met.
I'm just gonna look at Haseo and in Elvish, be like, I'm gonna love this.
My
I'm
character looks
laughing.
over. Thank you, Tok Tilkun.
I'm covering my mouth laughing.
Allow me get to my point then. Ziggy the Scrivener, has he approached you with some favor or job of his?
Indeed, he has approached us with a job to retrieve some books from a part of the town that I am not aware of.
My character thinks for a bit. Joff, would you have my character roll something if he could equate that with, like, the abandoned quarter? Somewhere that people just don't go?
Yeah, you don't even need to make a roll for that. You've been here in the town long enough to know that the Eastern Ward has been empty since the pox. That
Okay.
basically, it's kind of, people use it. Transients coming through or those down on their luck will kind of squat there, but for the most part, it is definitely just it's unused. It's no one's there. No permanent residence. Let's put it that way.
Okay, my character will follow up. Something to do with the Eastern Ward, perhaps?
That is something that he mentioned, yes.
He doesn't have you doing anything untoward, Lady Kotika, does he?
Not that I'm aware, just simply collecting some books for him.
Well, that certainly doesn't sound peculiar.
The intent seemed pure enough. He just wants to preserve knowledge. I think.
If it
My
is
character,
untoward, he owes me more than what he's offering.
Well, we'll have what he wants. We can barter if it seems to be more than he's letting on.
might I inquire specifically as to where he's having you go?
If I could remember, I'd tell you.
We tell him what we were told.
Yeah, what J-Hop said.
Alright, so my character, a religious character, is essentially told that, alright, we're going crypt robbing.
Yes.
My character gets a bit of an abashed look. You're going to rob? Oh, well, that certainly lines up with, Lady Kotika, I'm going to be frank with you. You and your group appear to have been lined up to play the fool.
In this event, I must agree with Holy Man Zampiros. I was not aware we were going to a crypt.
An elderly woman has recently approached me and stated that Ziggy, our erstwhile companion and oft-time braggart, if she is to be believed, is attempting to tamper with something that is best left untended. And if that lines up with reality, I fear that you and your companions, or co-workers, or whatever this ragtag group would happen to be, are being sent to, well, if not to your deaths, to a very lackluster payday.
If I may be so bold, have you ever read what is in the books that Ziggy is requesting?
It is not necessarily the content of the books which I am overtly against, much less the act of grave robbing and subsequent, how should I describe this, ill omens that come with such, especially when they are pointed out by random passers-by who obstinately have nothing to do with the former.
I do not know if I would go as far as to say that it is grave robbing unless the books are buried with the dead.
They are in a crypt, are they not?
But are they underground?
This is a semantic
Like-
distinction to make, Lady Gothica.
A
Better
crypt is
question,
inherently
are they being
underground.
used?
Look here, Chunk.
No, not necessarily. You can have crypts above ground. Look at New Orleans.
New Orleans is underwater half of the year. I don't think that counts.
Well, everything that's buried there is buried above ground because when they tried planting them in the ground, they floated up and floated away. Literally.
Yeah.
So
Sounds like a
their
New
their
Orleans problem.
their crypts are above ground. And a lot of places are like that.
I will
think
try
that's
to
technically
break
Muslim.
this awkwardness that is currently building and just simply look at him. Zumperios, would it make you feel better if you were there to ensure that nothing was being disturbed?
Lady Gothica, I must admit, I have not been under arms for quite a while, but I would be more than happy to join you in this excursion to make sure nothing untoward happens.
Perfect. Then it's settled.
Wonderful. When are you all planning to leave?
I believe that we meet with Ziggy tomorrow at their shop to collect some bags so that it will be easier to transport the books that they so desire, as well as obtain a map, seeing as apparently Ziggy has no idea where the entrance is.
I see. Do any of you require a light source of some description?
As he says that, I'm gonna kind of cast light, but have it come through the tattoos on my torso, and it just kind of do a dim light in the room.
Okay.
I personally have keen eyes, but as you can see, my guard here has other means.
I can see that. Is it a
Bioluminescence.
trick?
He's kind of just staring straight forward with just a little bit of a smile, but other than that, no expression on his face. He's just glowing.
With all pleasantries out of the way, if you don't mind, Jewel, I see that you have an instrument. Do you play it?
Why, yes. Yes, I do. Is there something in particular you'd like to hear?
Not at this very moment, but I'm curious. I see that there seems to be another one that also has an instrument. Are you two by chance together and play as one or something? Do we need to go and get your friend?
Actually, I've yet to make her acquaintance, but I think it is a fantastic idea that we do get better acquainted, seeing as we are both musically inclined, as you so keenly pointed out. I walk over to, and I apologize, you said it was Ashlyn?
Yeah, Ashlyn.
Ashlyn, okay. I walk over to Ashlyn to introduce myself.
I'm okay with you saying Ashlyn. That's funny. It's a weed reference.
I don't even remember what I was saying now. I walk over there. And yeah, say, oh, I see you two are a musician. It's very nice to meet you. I'm Jewel. Would you care to come join our little party as we discuss some festive things this afternoon?
Ashlyn slowly turns around and then looks up. And she replies, huh? Oh, I guess you are another bard, right? Or you seem bardy to me, at least. You mentioned, festivities or something? Kind of interested. What would what's in it for me?
Making new friends. What else is there?
I'm sorry.
Coin, spiritualism,
Ashlyn stares
property.
at you for a moment and then starts laughing and then chokes on her spit as she's laughing, taken aback by the magic of friendship. Hold on, I need a moment.
First con save. Let's go.
I
Roll for
gotta
giggles.
ask, Sin, what is your alignment? Sin?
There was an alignment that said like fucking kitten unicorns. So just neutral good, I guess.
It's fucking great.
Look, everybody's so stoic around here.
The stoic
I
and
could lighten things
stoic.
up a little bit.
Hey, so
Love
out of
it.
character, I don't remember how to decide what my DC is to see if I pass.
What were you testing against?
Con save for the giggles.
Oh, con save? Okay. So
Yeah,
just go
and see
ahead.
how long she recovers.
All right, well, you got a con. It's.
I got a
would say-
13.
yeah, that's fine. I was going to say DC 13, so we'll go with that. So you hold it in, but barely.
Okay. So, I'm supposed to want to try the magic of friendship? She just stares at you with her eyebrows up, like she's expecting something a little more, and she does the motions of circling her hands a little above her chest. Insinuate, is there more?
My character looks at Kodaka. I would assume a share of the payment.
Of course, I mean, it is simply 5 gold at this time, so I would not expect a high percentage between 7 individuals. Oh, 5 per book.
Yes.
I lied.
Right, 5 gold per book.
Yep, that was correct.
Ashlyn chuckles towards her again.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
just
there is.
kidding. I'm just pulling your leg. Sure. I mean, depends. Do you need a paladin to, eat some rights or something? Do some conquesting? Have a good conquest.
We're just getting books.
Did we lose Jim?
Books! Where? She looks quite hobbitish with her expression. If any of you have seen Lord of the Rings, it's like, when Merry or Pippin, get a prank idea. The little smirk they do. I don't know how to describe it best for her.
And from a crypt here in the city, somewhere town.
Ooh. She now looks more interested. Okay, do you know where this crypt is? I've been to a good crypt in a while.
We do not. We have to meet with the proprietor of Ziggy. I say, what was it? Ziggy Skirviner shop.
Something like that.
Though one can assume it is in the eastern quarter, Miss Levatium.
To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention. I think
I don't
overheard
remember what he
talk
looked like.
here. Kind of got my attention. I've never seen these before. Kind of just examining.
It was the gnome with the white beard that's balding. The
Yep.
characters, the guy's the person's Ziggy. They have a shop somewhere here in the town, and we're supposed to meet up with them to get a bag to be able to transport these books more easily, as well as the map that should potentially lead us to the general area of the entrance to said crypt.
While this is going on,
Would Ash know the gnome? She's been there for at least a year.
yes, he's a staple of the town. Just about everybody knows of him or knows him. But meanwhile,
I'll just respond, the gnome.
Okay.
Incredulously.
While this is going on, Ari, you're studying your book, and a man kind of out of the corner of your eye, or by looking up, you see a man standing on the other side of your table, facing you. He's got 2 mugs of beer, one in each hand, and he's kind of like.
I'll just motion at the seat.
Okay. He sits down, slides one of the mugs over to you.
And what do I owe this pleasure?
Looking for a favor, and I'm thinking you might be able to help me. You don't look like someone who follows the norm. And you catch him looking at your hands and seeing the burn and looking at the burned skin on his hands.
No, I would say my life has not been normal.
I've heard. Go ahead.
What is it you seek?
I've heard rumors that gnome character, he's sorry, too many gifts flying around right now. I heard he's been talking about this crypt that's out on the eastern ward. Now, my family, I am sure that my family were nobles. And he kind of looks around, making sure that no one's listening in on your conversation. He says, I'm sure part of my family were nobles here before the Taurians came in and took over everything. Now, I've heard...
Breaking up.
Yeah, I know. Hold on a second. Nope. There we go. Should be better now.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, screensaver kicked in. I got to turn that off. I've heard that he's trying to get some people to go look into this crypt, and I know that one of my ancestors is down there, and if you could find proof that my family is a noble, I will give you 25 gold to just give me the proof. And he kind of reaches inside his jacket or his pullover, and he pulls out a piece of charcoal and a piece of simple paper, and he puts it down in front of you and pushes it over. All I need is an etching from the tomb. That'll show that my family's nobles, and I can just stop making these sales for all these people, and I can do better for my family.
What is your family's name?
Burrell.
Barn owl?
Burrell. Burell.
Sorry, it was a joke earlier. Earlier you guys said barn owl, and I thought that was the word you said was barn owl.
So, can I roll a history check just to see if I know anything on these crypts or this family?
Yeah, go ahead.
First roll.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
First crit.
Yeah, it's first crit. Okay, yes. So
Nowhere to go but down.
What you know is that commoners in this area were burned, typically burned in a pyre or a simple cemetery outside of town. It was only the aristocracy that was entombed in crypts of having wealth. They were basically put into a nice crypt or of some sort. So if this person is in one of these crypts, you definitely would find a tomb with the family name and a crest. Still here?
Yeah, do I have any idea where the crypts would be?
No. But as he said, that he knows, he hears that the gnome is getting people together to find this crypt.
Do you know who he has spoken to?
Well, you see that crowd over there at that one table with the suit walking armor there?
Ah, yes.
He points over to the table where everyone else in the group is sitting at. I overheard him talking to them.
Well, perhaps I'll see if I can be some use to them and to you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
And he'll take the paper and charcoal and put it in his bag.
Okay.
And then head over to another table.
Okay. You moving to a table closer to them?
Oh no, I'll move to theirs.
Okay.
It's just a table hop until he makes it.
Another arrives.
Say what? Hey, look. Oh, hello, Irie. You require relief of pain again.
No. I have come to make an inquiry. I hear tell you're going to some crypts. Is that true?
Apparently so.
Would you mind another tagging along?
Might get very cramped.
We're friends.
It could be profitable.
You can definitely carry a lot more bags this way, or books.
There is
books.
a certain person that has approached me because he believes his ancestors are buried there. He needs an etching, and he's willing to pay for it.
I'm gonna whisper under my breath in Elvish again. Just how big are these crypts?
Bless you.
I can tell
You're
you.
back in Elvish, as big as your mama.
Is that out of character or in character?
Definitely in character.
Ah, and my character will look over and in Elvish say, "Young lady."
Oh, have you pulled her over towards the table already? Like, were we walking towards the table?
I think she went and got you to play music.
Ready?
I think I can tell you a little bit about the crypts.
Well, hold on a second. Ashlyn, as she's coming over to the table, you can slowly hear louder and louder the sound of bells with each step she took. She's wearing top and around her boots.
Commoners were not buried in the crypts. The commoners were typically burned upon a pyre. The only people that were buried in the crypts would have been nobility.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, you are hoping to essentially piggyback off of our job for your own. Is that right?
I don't mind sharing in the wealth. I can share what he is offering, as long as we can find the particular tomb, because the crypt is full of tombs.
Is there anything particular you are looking for?
Myself, I'm just history. History's always interesting. It always repeats itself.
Yes. I see. Insight check.
I mean, he's in reading the books because it is history. That is one of his preferred skills. And like he said, he's willing to share what the guy's giving. as long as we can find the tune to get the sketch etching.
Well, let's do this. How about you carry some of the books as well if you're going to be down there with us anyway?
That is fine, if you're willing to share that with me, as I share mine with you.
If
I see
anyone
no reason not
offered-
to.
Shit.
I,
If I
I go ahead, Robert.
If I may offer an alternative to the etching, I may have something that will be particularly useful to providing proof and evidence of noble. What is the word for heritage? That is the word I was looking for.
I'm just imagining his, brain processing all the vocabulary he's learned so far.
I just want to see
Like a
him
computer?
cycle through all the languages of one word before he lands on the one that makes sense.
Mhm.
To be fair, in terms of mental capabilities, he's basically a 10-year-old.
Oh,
At least currently. Because remember, he just woke up 10 years ago.
right,
He's
right.
had 10 years to try and catch up.
Gotcha. What is it that you can do? Was it talk? Is that what?
Talk.
Okay. So, what is it that you can do that would be able to assist in proving noble descent?
Eri, you have a paper, correct? For the etching.
Yes.
May I see it for just a moment?
He'll pull out the parchment.
So let me make sure I'm doing this right here real quick. Just a hot second.
Let me guess, he's got a scanner in his belly.
No, this is an artificer's skill.
He eats the
Magical
paper
tinkering.
and
So-
vomits it up.
No. So, Talk will just kind of take a momentary stare at the group sitting at the table and go ahead and he'll pull his little wood carving tools from his belt. With the tools, he touches the paper. And just for a bit of flavor, I'm going to say there's like a little silver dust that pours forth from the tool onto the paper. And a static visual effect appears on this paper, basically presenting a picture of what Talk was just staring at. The group sitting around the table.
With me standing behind Ko. That's awesome.
Very interesting
magical
ability.
Gotta love artificial magical tinkering, I guess. That was oddly useful.
Do we know if J-Hawk's even here still? Is he still... Oh, okay, I see he's back. Never mind.
Okay. So you all kind of know what you're going, know where you're going, what you're doing. It is 11:15 right now, so I'm getting ready to sign off. Basically, you all show up the next morning at Ziggy's location. He sees you all coming in. He's like, "Okay, I really didn't expect all of you, but the more the merrier, I guess. The more you can carry." Like I said, I'm sorry.
I was just shouting good morning, Scribe.
Morning, Talk. Like I said, I got your bags here. And he reaches under his counter and he pulls out a couple of like burlap sacks. He puts them down on the counter for you. I also got a map here, and he pulls out, opens up. He's just shuffling through some of his books and his papers, and he pulls out a map that shows a bunch of houses. From the East Ward. He says it's I'm not sure where, but the entrance has got to be in one of these houses here, or somewhere. You know, there's a couple statues I found, and there could be somewhere around there. but it's got to be in this area somewhere, based on everything I've researched and I've found.
So it's inside the wall.
Yes, it's inside the city.
Anybody ready to smash?
You never got a
Excuse
song.
me?
Which
As the screen fades black.
which district was the Wilcox in?
Oh, the tavern?
Yep.
Gesundheit.
I think you mentioned it was in the Central Road, didn't you?
I forgot where I said that. Hold on a second here. Going through my notes. What was my notes?
Is it too much if we have the bards just roll a random performance to see how their song went?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's
Okay,
go.
hold on.
Oh, I'm ready.
2 fucking ones. It was
Oh,
shit. We got,
I
we
do
got
have a
booed out of the bar.
+5 though.
Not one,
Once
not
on that
one.
Literally said that at the exact same time.
Stand as
Wrong sin.
a regular performance, nothing too spectacular, but definitely not bad.
So in D20, you type /R space 1D20.
Okay, hold on. /R space
1D as in dog 20. Enter.
1d20. Okay. I'm
But
glad
what-
you said something.
What's the bonus?
Wow.
You have a 12 plus something.
Wow.
Sure.
What's your plus for performance?
I'm checking now.
You can also do
+4.
R/D20.
No, +3.
So 15.
Nice. So you got higher. So you seem better.
All right.
Yeah.
We ready?
You're a bard.
What are we singing?
Hold on a second here. Hold on. Jules, you're a bard with entertainer, and you don't have performance as a proficiency?
Do I?
No, not according to your sheet. You don't.
Should I?
You have persuasion.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Hello?
Goofs for head.
Did I do it wrong?
No, I just saw you have persuasion, so I think it's performance or persuasion. So you took persuasion instead of performance, which basically means your character is a talker.
Yeah.
She's like, shut up, baby. I know it.
You know, it certainly means or you can also play music and whatnot. But your character's with that kind of build. Your character's more towards the
Oratory.
oratory. Thank you. That's the word I was
Yeah, that's
looking for.
fine.
I have a +5 to my persuasion and performance.
I mean, I can give you guys a limerick if you would prefer.
Yeah, that would be, if that were, given that that's your bard
Could you type it out?
telling a story or a limerick or, yeah. So go ahead and use persuasion instead. Oh,
Okay, so
we'll use the 12 and then +5 to that is 17.
okay.
That's
All
a good result. So give us a limerick.
Let's get down to business to explore these crypts. 7 amazing adventurer. 1 with amazing hips. You know who you are. You're the craziest bunch you've ever met, but I can bet before we're through. Somehow I'll make great friends out of you.
Rolling for giggles.
I've got to roll for that too.
That was good.
I'm just imagining later down the campaign. 7 years ago, you suck. You point at him, cutting words.
Haseo fell to one knee laughing and
I
clapping.
believe that was also said by a
Oh,
James
wow.
Caan.
As they giggles a lot, huh? And I believe I managed to keep my composure.
Oh, yeah. The 21, definitely.
Oh, right.
Yeah, say it was on the ground.
Oh, yeah. I can't breathe.
Let's see
Even
what's
with my plus, it's not gonna make it.
Ha! Talk doesn't have to worry about that. He doesn't have lungs.
I got 13 total. I'm struggling.
Is that what the heck I'll roll?
Screw it. We're gonna see if
Hey.
/R D20
just for the meme.
So are you going to drop characters for us in roll 20?
Oh,
Okay. Well, how in the fuck?
I imagine
Broke
it just
the robot.
sounds like a robot breaking, like literally breaking.
So it's just the robot just deep fries his brain a little bit. He's just Why is this
That's
so
very
funny?
fun.
no. Here we go. That's
The Warforged appears to be broken.
In real life, I haven't done a limerick in a decade.
Rebooting.
Fuck. She just stares at her for a second as her brain starts worrying, trying to think.
She threw you off your song. That's what it was.
You threw me off my groove. Please tell me you guys are old enough to at least seen that.
Is that my voice?
I think that a few of us are pretty old in here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bruce Groove.
Yeah.
I'm probably one of
Threw
the
off my
older.
groove.
Sorry.
Through the magic of friendship,
Yeah, I got
take
that
on
very
this hardship. To conquest. What would rhyme with this? Conquest these bitches. And take all them books.
I lean in closer, smiling.
Well, you got me.
I have to roll
By all
again.
accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Hold on, I gotta roll for giggles.
From what I take of the world's surround, I present something.
God damn it. She manages to keep her laughing in. Fuck it. I'm more of a paladin than an entertainer. I'm just used to playing these damn bells. And she starts dancing around in a circle, stomping her feet.
I clap along with it.
Right. We'll call it a
this is
night.
actually-
I'm sorry. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything now.
You're
Are
all
you
laughed
going to
out.
drop us characters in roll 20? Since some of the people are having to roll and add.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to see what I can do about putting all the character sheets under Roll 20 this week at work when it's slow. I'll see how far I can get.
Cool.
But now that at least I've got everyone's character sheet.
I mean, if you just put the character sheet up, most of us can go ahead and enter it on our own.
We
I
can
don't know
import it.
how.
Just hit import. Import PDF.
Where's that?
It's not accessible to us yet.
Oh.
He would have to give us a character that we have access to.
In the
Yeah.
journal tab.
Okay, so it's under. Yeah, like I said, I've never run the game. I've only been part of it. So all right,
That's fine.
So character-
Yeah,
We all got
once
each
you
other's back
once you
here.
create a character sheet, then you have to give us permission to use it.
Okay. All right, I'll get that. I'll get working on that this week. I'll just send you a message on Discord when I've got your character sheet up and accessible.
Alrighty. Well, this
Yeah.
was an absolute blast. I look forward to next Friday.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
Jules and Ashlyn, on your personal character sheets before you get them up and running, please mark down that you each have one inspiration point. Very nice job on doing the limericks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
letting
you.
go and doing that.
I'm
on
sorry.
the fly. And we'll get started on the adventure next weekend.
Excellent.
Let's
Hell
go.
yeah, brother.